Hello everyone, welcome to Lesson 6 in French. It's direct object pronouns or les pronoms compléments d'objet direct. Today we are going to learn to use direct object pronouns to replace nouns when writing and speaking. And our goal by the end of this video is to be able to correctly replace nouns with direct object pronouns. So let's begin with partie 1 à l'introduction. On utilise des pronoms d'objet direct pour éviter la répétition. So we use direct object pronouns to avoid repetition. Here I just have some little rules. So for le, it replaces a masculine word, obviously singular. La replaces a singular feminine word. Les replaces a plural word, and L apostrophe replaces a word in front of a verb that starts with a vowel. We use object or direct object pronouns when there isn't a preposition, such as a, de la, do, and stuff like that, between the verb and the object. And the questions we ask ourselves when we are basically replacing nouns with direct object pronouns is who and what. So for example, j'aime les chats. If we want to change les chats, the question we're asking what? So I like what? The cats. So I would say I like them. So je les aime. Vous buvez le thé. So you drink tea. You drink what? The tea. So you drink it. Vous le buvez. Here I have a conversion chart. So it's handy. You can just even take a screenshot, keep it, or write it in your notes. That would be le, la, les, elle, apostrophe for vowels. My is mon, ma, mes. Your is ton, ta, te. And your, in this case, would be singular. His or her would be son for masculine, sa for feminine, and c'est for plural. Our is notre, no. Your, in this case, would be plural, or like for vous, would be votre, vos. And there is leur, and leur. Obviously, the last leur for plural ends with an S. Partie 1b, les situations pour utiliser des pronoms d'objet direct. So here we're actually getting to the procedure and the situations of how you can put direct object pronouns in a sentence. So situation 1 is when there is only a verb, you're going to put the pronoun before the verb. So for example, j'aime les chats would convert to je les aime. So our only verb in the sentence was aime. And we're going to look at les chats. Well, it's plural, so it's going to be les. And then we're going to put les before the verb, which is aime. So it would become je les aime. Situation 2 is when there are two verbs, and one will be conjugated, the other is going to be in the infinitive form. You're going to put the pronoun before the infinitive. For example, nous allons manger la pizza, so we're going to eat the pizza. In this case, our two verbs are allons and manger. One is conjugated, which is allons, and the other is still in the infinitive form, meaning it is not conjugated, which is manger. So now la pizza is la. It's going to go before the infinitive. So nous allons stays nous allons, and that's going to become la manger. So we're going to eat it. Situation 3 is when you have a mixed tense of verbs. For example, when you have an auxiliary and you have a past participle, or also known as passé composé. If you haven't done passé composé, don't worry. I will be covering that in 2 lessons from now. But I just included this here in situation 3 because it's part of direct object pronouns and it makes sense to have it here. But when you have those kinds of sentences, you're going to put the pronoun before the auxiliary. And you're also going to be making agreement with the past participle verb. So for example, Marie a mangé la pizza. So Mary ate a pizza. Here, Marie, I'm going to change it to the subject pronoun elle, but you can keep it as Marie, it doesn't matter. But elle a mangé la pizza would become elle l'a mangé. Here, the la pizza changes to la, but because we're putting it before the auxiliary, it's going to be L-A space A-S. And in French, you have to elide 2 vowels when they are side by side. So you can't pronounce it as elle l'a a mangé. So when we elide it, we're going to put an L apostrophe, and it's going to be elle l'a mangé. But the only difference with manger here is that we added an extra E to make it feminine because la pizza is feminine. The next example I have, just so you understand it better, is je fais les desserts. Here the two verbs are a and fait. A is the auxiliary and the past participle is fait. And the word we're changing with a direct object pronoun is les desserts. And the direct object pronoun is going to be les because it is plural. And where is les going to go? It's going to go in front of the auxiliary. So the auxiliary is a, so it's going to be je les ai fait. With fait, you just put an S because les desserts is plural. So je les ai fait. And also one more thing for negatives. So for negatives, the pronouns will always stick with the auxiliary or the infinitive if there are two verbs, one being conjugated. The reason I put this note at the end is because I first want to show you examples so you can better understand it, and then we eventually come to that conclusion. So, vous ne voulez pas lire le livre. So that would, if we say, so here it's already in the negative form. We're just going to replace the le livre with a direct object pronoun. It's going to be le because it is masculine. And we're going to keep vous ne voulez pas together. We're going to put the direct object pronoun, which is le, before the infinitive, which is lire, to read. So, vous ne voulez pas le lire. And the next couple of examples, I basically already made the direct object pronoun where it's supposed to be. So I've done that step, but what we're going to do is we're going to make it into the ne pas, or the negative form. So, je regarde le film is going to become je ne le regarde pas. There's only one verb here in the sentence, and that is regarde. And we're going to be replacing the word le film with the direct object pronoun le because it is masculine. And obviously that direct object pronoun is going to go before the first verb, or the only verb in this case. Here, I've also added the ne pas around those. So it's going to be je ne le regarde pas. J'ai regardé le film would become je ne l'ai pas regardé. In this case, we have a passé composé. So it's going to be the direct object pronoun, in this case, which would be le as well. But because we have an auxiliary that starts with an A and le ends with an E, there are two vowels. So we're going to align them and make an L apostrophe. So that L apostrophe is going to go before the auxiliary, which is A. So je ne l'ai pas regardé. So the ne pas goes around the les. And je vais regarder le film. So it's going to, the word that we're replacing is les films, and that's going to be replaced with les because it is plural, and it's going to go before the infinitive, which is regarder in this case. And so when that happens, the ne pas is going to go around the first conjugated verb. So je ne vais pas les regarder. So pratiquez, I have some practice questions here for you. Je lis le journal. So we are going to come up with the word that replaces le journal, or the direct object pronoun that replaces le journal, and you're going to identify where you're going to put it for the final answer. Tu regardes les nouvelles, il voit Sarah, Kyle, et Liana. Vas-tu remercier la mère de Paul? In this case, I've already given you basically the structure of the sentence or the question. All you have to do is identify what the direct object pronoun will be for la mère. Ils achètent leurs billets. Also, same thing, I've given you the structure. All you have to do is identify what leur billet would equal to. So is it le, la, or les? And a-t-elle vu son frère à la patinoire? And same thing, I've already given you the structure. All you have to do is figure out what son frère will equal to and put it in the beginning of the sentence. Comprenez-vous les pronoms? In this case, you are going to have to come up or make the whole sentence, plus identifying which direct object pronoun would replace les pronoms. And allons-nous manger la tarte? J'ai vu l'émission mardi soir. So these are your 10 questions or practice questions that you're going to be doing, identifying and applying the knowledge you just gained into these questions. This was our lesson for today for direct object pronouns. The next lesson is going to be indirect object pronouns, in which case we're going to be calling it COE. In this case, it was COD. Hopefully you did understand this lesson. I tried to break down everything and make sure that there's no redundant stuff. It's all clear, concise, and basically a lesson that you can understand within just a couple of minutes. Make sure you do the practice questions. It's good to basically just summarize all the parts of the lesson we talked about. And I will be putting the answers to them in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you in the next one.